Chapter 8 Riverside Institute. In the nameless bookstore, Pierce traced a trail of an attempted burglary. He discovered that Charles Hawkins was behind the attempt. Pierce opened the bookseller's safe to find what the letter and Sarah Hawkins had hidden there. A book covered in human skin, lied inside, irresistibly attracted the detective. When he opened it, his mind was projected into another body. Alright, we got some weird stuff ahead.
Dr. Colden, this man's condition is deteriorating.
What says Dr. Fuller? It's his patient, after all.
He's busy with Captain Fitzroy. He specifically asked us not to bother him when that's the case.
Oh, of course. I'll see what I can do. Mr. Blake, can you hear me? I'm Dr. Colden. We'll take care of you.
There's nothing we can do. I tried talking to him. He's catatonic.
We're playing as Marie right now. But the description that we just read implies that our brain or our mind has been transported into Marie. Looking at these options, we don't actually realize that yet. And is this in the same quote-unquote timeline? Like, have we been fetched out of the bookstore and brought here, and now we're being treated by Dr. Colden and this nurse?
What can you tell me about him?
He was highly agitated an hour ago. We were about to tie him down when he fell asleep. 10 minutes ago, he curled up into a fetal position. I thought he was waking up, but no.
I'm trying to look at him and I can't. Yeah, we gotta look through all of this.
Show me his file.
That's not possible.
Don't tell me Dr. Fuller has taken this file as well. We need it.
That's why I called you. This man's ailment has been hidden from us.
Come on now. What was he treated for?
An intoxication, I was told. After inhaling chemicals.
The gas is downstairs.
What are his symptoms?
His temperature has been going down. His skin losing its color. His body rigid. I closed his eyes myself. They were glassing over. I didn't want them to dry out, and I couldn't bear to look at the expression on his face.
You did well. Don't worry. Let's stay professional, if you will.
Marie knows who we are, though. So I really do question if this is happening in the same timeline.
I don't recognize him. Did he just arrive on the island?
He said he worked on the docks, but not with Captain Fitzroy. I think he works for Ms. Baker.
Who?
You know, the woman at the head of their gang. They call her Cat.
Oh, I see.
Do you have other questions?
That'll do for the time being.
Any idea what this man might be undergoing?
Did you inject him with a tranquilizer?
No, Doctor. Not me, not anyone. Our stock is empty, yet again.
Again? But there was enough for the whole island.
More and more people are suffering from insomnia. We can't refuse to help.
Of course.
Any idea what this man might be undergoing?
Metamorphosis.
Very well. I'll examine him.
That's totally us, isn't it? I can't actually move with the left stick here. I'm rooted in place. I can move the right stick around, do some medicine checks, but that's about it. Yeah, let's have a look at this. Charles Hawkins tried to burglarize Algernon Drake's bookstore. But how is it possible given that he is supposed to be dead? There's a lot more behind this story than a mere conjugal drama. What did Sarah Hawkins and Algernon Drake try to hide in the latter's safe? So Algernon Drake, the owner of the bookstore, also knew Sarah Hawkins. Their relationship went far beyond that of a seller and a faithful client. She helped him to protect an object. They hid it in the backroom safe, and Sarah Hawkins painted this strange symbol on the door. Charles Hawkins must have wanted to steal it. I must open this safe and find out what's hidden inside. How can I find the combination? That was an ordeal, let me tell you. I found a book in the bookseller's safe. There was something wrong with it. It spelled of death and putrefaction. I had a bad feeling. I read it to understand why I had such feelings. What happened after that? Where am I? I mean, looking at this, it seems like... Oh, look at that. So if I go R1, we're skipping straight over Pierce. Right now, I can't see Pierce as a character. Dang. The Hound, that was the little statue that we saw. Do not make the mistake of taking this jewel for an inanimate object. The soul of a powerful sorcerer, devourer of bodies of the Leng cult, a sect from Central Asia, lies in this jade amulet. His very characteristic form, a massive hunting dog, represents the transformation of the sorcerer into a man-eating ghoul. Whoever unearths this amulet and wears it around his neck is at risk of the sorcerer's wrath. The latter will return, in the shape of a formidable hunter, to track and dismember all defilers. It's out of that lovely book again.
His skin shows abnormal loss of color and seems dried out. He's totally dehydrated. His fingertips and toes seem to feature a slight ring under the skin, tender at the touch, slightly sticky.
That's not good.
Severe malnutrition. Swollen abdomen with traces of petechia. Doesn't seem like an edema. Slight protuberances seem to indicate the presence of a foreign body. 30-year-old subject. Severe hypothermia. Erythematous papules around the eyes and eardrums. Necrosed palpebral tissue. Lord, this smell.
I know some of these words.
So, Doctor, an opinion?
I'm not sure I have the necessary knowledge to treat this man.
Don't say that. You're our most worthy doctor after Dr. Fuller.
Some of his symptoms are beyond my comprehension.
What did you find?
How old is Pierce? I thought he was older than 30, surely.
Did you examine his abdomen? It would seem there's something inside.
He hasn't eaten in days. Are you certain it's not an edema?
No. Can't you recognize an edema? Pushing with your finger won't leave a trace. And look at these bumps.
It's not like he could be pregnant.
Whatever it is, this man has something inside him that shouldn't be there. We should operate on him at once.
Dr. Fuller said not to worry, that the edema would go away by itself.
He's lying.
You know, I'm not sure Dr. Fuller is telling the truth.
I can hear these two dudes whispering in the background, Fitzroy and Fuller.
I see signs of hypodermoclysis, but he's still dehydrated. When was his last IV?
He's constantly under perfusion. I've even gone beyond the recommended dose to no avail. And you won't believe me, but when we bathed him earlier...
He seemed to feel better?
Yes. Like he needs an aquarium, not a perfusion.
Oh no.
But that doesn't explain his condition.
Yeah, he's transforming, isn't he?
In spite of the muscle contractions, his arms seem limp.
Yes. They can't have decalcified, not at this rate.
And yet, if there is a bone in this arm, it's softer than that of a newborn baby. What about his cranium?
It's soft at the touch. It does seem like the skull of a baby.
Look at these sticky rings growing at his fingertips. What can be happening?
I'm sure you'll find an explanation. You have to.
Mm-hmm.
I almost don't believe it myself, but these symptoms are not those usually associated with the human species.
What do you mean? Don't tell me you believe in extraterrestrials.
No. This poor man is from our world, all right. But his body is undergoing unnatural mutations. And this transformation is killing him. His body simply can't cope.
Where could he have gotten such an infection?
I pray that it's not here.
Dr. Colden, may I know what you're doing to my patient?
What I'm doing? How about what you've done to him?
Let us calm down, my dear Marie. I don't appreciate your tone, nor your insinuations. I've done to him what I do to all my patients, provide him with the best available care.
Your imagination is without limit. It's your homemade drug again, is it not? Those people are not your guinea pigs.
There, there. What have you seen to put you in such a state?
This patient.
These are alarming symptoms. If we don't act, he'll die.
Do you believe that? I'm not as convinced, you see. I even think this man has a strong chance of completely healing from his ailments.
You're not wrong.
No, Doctor. This patient isn't himself anymore. He's dying.
Really? What do you mean by isn't himself?
He's changing. His physical characteristics, they are more animal than human now.
Fascinating. An animal, you say? Could you be more precise? Cephalopod, perhaps?
This amuses you.
Your reaction does. I know your thirst for knowledge, Doctor. It's your innocent worries for this man that have you overreacting.
For this man, and the others whose medical files you've been hiding.
I have to protect my discovery. These people owe me their life, but the world isn't ready yet. It will be, in time.
I will not let you do this.
You disappoint me, Marie, but I still have hope you'll one day share my point of view. In the meantime, take care of your own patients and try not to forget who you're dealing with.
He is in deep.
Was that a threat? What did he mean?
It was a warning. Dr. Fuller is this institution's founder and one of our profession's most influential voices. My word is of no weight against his. If I continue to protest, I will only ruin my reputation and career.
It's scandalous. Can't we do anything? Is there no evidence of his crimes?
Oh, that evidence exists. I'm sure of it. I need to find the missing medical files.
And where would you find those? In his office? What if you get caught?
Low checkpoint.
I'd rather not think about that. I'm counting on your discretion.
Of course, Doctor. You can count on me. I'll keep Mum.
We're just flat out playing as a different character. This must have happened a while ago, surely, and this must not be us. Yeah, that's not Pierce. Pierce looks much more haggard than that. Right, we're playing as Marie, and we need to get into Fuller's office.
This place draws you in and never lets you go.
I definitely saw the notes when I quit last night about us moving into a different body, but I was not expecting to be playing as Marie in what looks like a flashback to the past.
Chronic insomnia. Like half the island.
There's nothing new there, it just says examine the dying patient and get into Fuller's office.
No, you're pulling my leg. I'm not joking. I saw the schedule. She's alone in the bathroom again. And she still says nothing to that old witch Donovan?
Oh, listen to the way you talk, you naughty girl. And the answer is no. You can imagine that she doesn't dare say a thing. That silly goose lets herself be trodden on.
Oh well, at least we won't have to clean for a while.
And just wait and see the next time the water's cut off. It's a real show.
That sounds ominous. Donovan was the name of the nurse that we saw when we were strapped to the bed and waking up in and out of consciousness as we were recovering from the rockfall.
Dr. Colden?
Alright, again, how large is this area? We have an exit there. I assume we're not going out there.
There's no way I'm leaving until I find what Fuller is hiding.
Readily?
Ethan,
Marie,
what are you doing here?
waiting for my medication, of course. Why?
We have master medicine here.
You know you can't trust Fuller.
I know, but he isn't the only doctor here.
Yes, but since he treated your injuries, he is your referring doctor now.
You're right. I shouldn't take the risk.
Nothing would be prescribed to you that hasn't been approved by him.
But I really need the treatment.
What are you suffering from?
I have nightmares. They keep me awake every night. It seems stupid, I know, but they're terrible.
Actually, you're not the only one.
No. No one has ever seen the things I see.
What injury?
It's like I'm turning mad.
An injury from a rockfall, perhaps? Or something below the Hawkins Manor? Or something else? Yeah, a lot of other people are suffering from insomnia and nightmares. This seems like an affliction.
So many people have this affliction. It's like an epidemic.
Do you think it might be related to Fuller's work?
I don't know yet, but I will figure all this out. Everyone in Darkwater is suffering from nightmares.
Really?
We don't have any medication left.
Oh, there's no excuse then. I should let you work.
Take care, Ethan.
You too, Marie.
When was this? Okay, so we were in Block A. We can basically just do a loop around here. We have a Block B on our left. The main reception area. Possibly some other rooms on the outside. Storage. Surgical ward. Mr. Fuller's office. Administration. He's in the corner there, so... maybe I need to get into the surgical ward and break through that door, or come through here perhaps and get through there. Alright, well, I'm not going in there until I've exhausted everything else in this area, so... Alright, Block A here. What I might do is head around here counterclockwise and check out the outside rooms first. Then we'll check out the center section, which I have not even contemplated. I'm hoping most of these doors are actually locked.
Everybody says it. She's a witch, an old hag. I didn't make this up. And I'm the one who pays. What a pest. Everybody says it. She's a witch, an old hag. I didn't make this up. And I'm the one
It's
who
temperamental,
pays.
if I
What a
understand
pest.
correctly.
It's so unfair.
Okay, maybe we can create a flood somehow. That's probably going several steps ahead of where I need to be at the moment. We're in the men's bathroom.
Elizabeth? You alright? Why is this room in such a state?
Because, as always, I'm cleaning it by myself. And the water was once again shut off this morning. I had to bother Mrs. Donovan again, giving her a new excuse to belittle me.
Do you really need Mrs. Donovan to open a valve? Why not ask the janitor?
I can't make these decisions without her approval. Imagine if there were a leak. Anyhow, the boiler room is locked half the time. So every time the water gets shut off, I have to go and endure her reproach until she's settled the problem.
I see. Courage, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Doctor.
Right, so that thing definitely works. Could maybe do something with that pipe. Alright. I'll keep that in the back of my mind. What was this? locker room. And that, I assume, leads to Fuller's office. I can't inspect any lockers in the locker room. What kind of locker room is this? This is the... I think it's the administration room?
Everybody says
Yep.
it. She's a witch, an old hag. I didn't make this up.
Surely there's got to be some notes around here or something that I can read. All these notes, books on the desks, and I can't read any of them. There we go. The Reference Book of Medical Sciences. Like a dictionary, this book references in alphabetical order all the medical sciences known and practiced in the modern world. For each of the entries, the major works and the names of the reference authorities are listed. And that did nothing towards our medicine stat because our medicine stat is already at master. If you could give that to Pierce, or if Pierce could psychically look at that, that would be great. That is somewhere we can hide. Surely. That's incredibly concerning.
I have little time for you, Doctor. You'll find out that it's not only the doctors who have things to do.
Mrs. Donovan. That's the lady Elizabeth was just complaining about, and it's also the lady that we saw when we were drugged up.
Wait a minute. Where do you think you're going? Dr. Colden.
Mrs. Donovan.
Nobody goes into Dr. Fuller's office. But rest assured, I'll tell him you came by.
That won't be necessary. Thank you.
I will tell him, nonetheless.
Can we punch you in the face? Secondary objective is cut off the water and distract Donovan.
Let's hope I can go through the administration office.
What about the surgical ward?
The operating room is never accessible after an operation.
Balls.
Sorry, but nobody can take anything until I finish the inventory. Please, the fewer interruptions there are, the faster I'll be finished.
Right, on one hand that's good because we don't need to explore that room. On the other hand, I really thought there would be a path from there to the surgical ward, but yeah, look at that. There totally is. There's two doors there. And that leads straight into the office. Okay. Do you folks have anything to say? No. 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 And definitely not. I saw a lot of icons out here.
Where did my fiancée go? I hope those nutcases will stop burdening her with work.
I don't get why they have us waiting so long. Almost no patients here.
There's enough.
It's a quiet little town. Days go by, steady as ever. I wanted more for myself, but...
But what?
Dr. Colden. Do you want something? I think that you're needed in Block B, Doctor.
Oh, okay.
Please, I'll be in trouble with Mrs. Donovan if I'm late. Do you want something?
We started in Block A, so let's check out Block B.
Dr. Colden, here you are at last. This patient was again brought up to the psychiatric wing. We've been following the treatment you prescribed, but the dysgeusia persists and he's lost a great deal of weight. We haven't been able to move him. The stress makes him hyperallergic.
Sir, I'm going to examine you. Do you understand? Inject him with a dose of pentobarbital, intramuscular, so that I can conduct the clinical examination.
Are you going to do that, ma'am?
He bit his lips so much, they're still bleeding. White froth, evidently because of such drooling. His binds left bloody wounds.
So, Doctor, what should we do with this patient?
You did good work. The tranquilizer is kicked in. Now you can disinfect and bandage his wounds.
Thank you, Doctor. And as to his weight loss?
I'll prescribe an antifungal treatment for his dysgeusia. In the meantime, feed him intravenously.
It'll be done.
We didn't see him get injected, but I assume he has been injected.
Intoxication from breathing organic vapors.
Just a couple of floors below. More sleeping pills? No, different bottles. Ooh. The key to the boiler room.
The key to the boiler room. All I have to do is shut off the water and hope Donovan takes the bait.
Are we locking her in there, perhaps?
She recently came back from the surgical block. She's stable. Given her file, a nephrectomy would have been inevitable. But Fuller was able to save her kidney.
I have no idea what that word means. And I'm not going to look it up because I'll probably regret doing so.
He broke his back in an accident down by the docks.
Paraplegic.
Ah, the whaling station. What's wrong with me?
What are you talking about?
Doctor, that you?
Yes, it's Dr. Colden. Tell me what happened.
It's the old whaling station. See?
The one that hides the smuggling business.
Oh no, not them. They don't go on that side of the island. Everyone in his place. The captain on one side, Cat on the other, and me. Well, I've been to the whaling station, I have.
What did you see there?
Nothing. Nothing at all. The floor was all rotten and I fell straight through.
And that's how you broke your back?
Perhaps. No idea. Passed out. I'll just sleep a bit more.
I imagine we'll go to the whaling station in a couple of chapters' time.
Hay fever. What's he doing here?
Doctor, please. My chest. Oh.
His perfusion of a semi-physiological solution doesn't seem to work. He's undergoing a ventricular fibrillation.
That's a problem.
Nurse? Deborah, come and help me, please. His potassium level is too high. Replace it with 2% glucose solution with insulin, calcium, and sodium bicarbonate.
I'll tend to it right away.
Thank you. He's in your hands.
Yeah, it's alright. I think that'll just take away his pain because he's probably not surviving that heart attack. I think that's what a fibrillation is, isn't it? Heart attack.
Why did nobody tell me about her admission?
Okay, here we go, finally. Something interesting. Irene Sanders' medical file. The file describes the states in which Irene Sanders entered the Riverside Institute, as well as the treatments administered to her. Fuller added a handwritten note. He recommends to take her down to the psychiatric wing in order to provide her with the quiet and rest that she needs. recommends. Was she taken downstairs? The psychiatric ring, is that the cellar? Because if it is, then she's been down to the cellar, but when we spoke to her a couple of chapters ago, she seemed relatively normal. But look at this, she is not moving at all. No chest movement, no leg movement, no nothing.
Mrs. Sanders?
Why is she here? I don't think we knew she was here. God, now I'm starting to wonder if this is all in Pierce's head. Surely not, though. This is way too detailed. How are you doing, sir? Have you transformed yet? No. Alright, I need to take a look at the center section here. So we have the pharmacy, storage, a latrine, another one. This very interesting book, aimed at a wide public, demonstrates how non-recognized sciences have influenced modern medicine. Magnetism, grandmother secrets, Chinese acupuncture, hypnosis, herbal medicine, alchemy, and many others have contributed, to a certain extent, to the enrichment of medicine at the beginning of this century. Alternate medicine. Alright, let's check out the pharmacy.
The doses prescribed by Fuller are far too high.
Prescription for barbiturates signed by Dr. Fuller. Yeah, we saw that back at the, was it the study? Study in the Hawkins place, I think. Or maybe it was just a bedroom. Yeah, it was Sarah's bedroom.
We're running out of this medicine.
I know, Doctor. We sent the purchase order, though, and Mrs. Donovan refused it.
Once again.
Can't you do anything?
Donovan takes her instructions directly from Dr. Fuller. I'm afraid I can do nothing about it for the moment. We're running out of this medicine.
I know, Doctor.
Really? Alright, she's up to no good, very clearly. How do you pronounce that? Umo delinquente? Don't know. This pseudo-scientific work by Cesar Lombroso correlates an individual's morphology with his criminal predispositions. The seriousness of this study and the accuracy of the demonstrations can deceive an uninformed reader. Quackery.
We've been waiting to be restocked for weeks.
Yeah, Donovan is clearly dirty along with Fuller. Alright, we have a key for that door. We're just to the left of reception. We have another hide point there.
This man, Edward Pierce, his file is incomplete. What did Fuller do to him?
Are we downstairs at this point? The file is strangely incomplete, and the detail on treatment is not given. It does not respect standard practice.
Dr. Colden, we need you at once in Dormitory B.
What is the problem?
Mr. Evans seems to be having trouble with his IV.
I've done an exam. Deborah is looking after him.
And the family of Mrs. Harding is asking to see her medical file.
I'll never understand why it's so hard to see patients' files around here.
Rules are rules. See, with Dr. Fuller, he's in charge. Anyhow, they're still waiting, and I don't think they'll leave until they get what they want.
Understood. Anything else?
As a matter of fact, yes. A man has been brought up from the basement.
I saw him, yes. It's always the same thing. They bring them up, without any explanation, with a multitude of self-inflicted injuries. We take care of the wounds, and then they leave. Each time, I feel like I'm sending them back to hell.
Their affliction is not our responsibility. You cannot save everybody, Doctor.
But can we save anyone? Really? I don't think there's anything we can do with that information unless people have spawned inside Block B.
In theory, this is where we hang the key to the boiler room. Dr. Fuller always keeps his key with him.
Another hide point. That is very concerning. Pizza Dozen MP, how you doing, dude? What genre is this? This is basically an adventure slash RPG. Like, it's got skill checks and things like that, but primarily I think it's an adventure game. Have I seen everything now? Haven't been in the kitchen.
Patients and hospital personnel eat the same food.
Ugh. No thank you, not even once. Alright, so at this point I can do two things. I can either fiddle with the water, or I can go into the boiler room. That I just walked past. It's outside admin. I wonder if the intent is to lock her in here.
I can't shut this with my bare hands. I need a tool.
And the game just saved, which is a bit curious. Don't understand why we get an autosave for that. We need a tool to turn that. So I imagine that is our next priority. The storage room, that's my immediate thought. Not the pharmacy, nothing in here. I didn't see any green ticks down the bottom left, so I don't think there's any hidden objects. Yeah, he's moved. Is there anything here? There is. We have found a monkey wrench. I'll just shut that door and then do this.
I feel guilty about Elizabeth, but I need the diversion.
Yeah, she's gonna get reamed. Oh dear.
Dr. Colden, might there be a problem with the water?
I was about to mention it. It seems it's been cut off yet again.
I can't take this, Marie. I feel I'm gonna burst.
It's not your fault if we have defective plumbing.
And yet, I'm the one who gets punished because I'm gonna have to square off with that annoying old witch. Courage, Elizabeth. Here we go. And hold your tongue this time.
It's temperamental, if I understand correctly.
I kind of don't want to watch this, but I think I have to trigger this event. Diary. I don't think there's anything useful here. Yeah, there's nothing on the right-hand side.
Mrs. Donovan?
I'm busy. Elizabeth, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am. But it's about the water.
What now?
It's off. It's not my fault.
Nothing is ever your fault. I told you to control the flow. Even if I know it's not your strong point.
I've apologized 1,000 times.
I haven't counted.
We don't need to hear that. Plus, we're on a timer here.
Blast. The missing files must be hidden here.
Okay, we have a hide points. That door's locked, that's good. Game is saved. Is that the cellar?
Something is wrong with these masts.
It is.
It's some sort of puzzle.
Oh god. Okay, not now. Anything else in here?
The Stendhal syndrome. Of course. This is where Fuller found his diagnosis for Francis Sanders.
A study of the Stendhal syndrome, a particularly rare mental illness. Subjects display mental disorders linked to an exposure to works of art. Nah, it's a bit more complicated than that. What they're going through is a tad more complicated than that. Dr. Fuller surrounded by female nurses, because of course. There's nothing at the desk. Okay, it looks like I need to solve this puzzle involving the Scylla's sails.
I should go another way.
Indeed. Definitely shouldn't go out there. We can hide in that closet if we need to.
Something is wrong with these masts. It's some sort of puzzle.
Okay, so I can change mast and rotate using left stick. So if I rotate the one on the left, it rotates both. Rotate the middle, it's rotating. It rotates the one in the middle 180 degrees, and it rotates the other two counterclockwise 90. That
I've
one's...
unlocked
Never mind.
something. Patient files. I was right.
That was accidental. Sarah Hawkins' interview. This cylinder was hidden inside Fuller's office. He recorded his thoughts about one of the many psychoanalysis sessions he submitted Sarah Hawkins to. I suppose we can close that back up. Oh god. Oh god. No, we're not done here. Okay. The phonograph.
Conclusions. Session number 17. Patient? Sarah Hawkins. The patient appears to have finally accepted the illusory nature of what she calls the mythos. It goes without saying that these peculiar delusions are the price that comes with her.
This finger belonged to a woman. Why keep it here?
Okay, they appear to have stopped. I saw the green question mark down the bottom left and thought, yep, I've got to search. We're in a reconstruction as Dr. Colden.
Why is Ethan on medication?
How do you know that's Bradley's medication? Alright, that's everything. That's curious. I don't understand what's going on here.
Why does Dr. Fuller write psychological reports about Sarah Hawkins?
At first, I presumed that her blood was the key. But I found nothing to explain Mrs. Hawkins' abilities.
She has abilities.
The poor souls downstairs are not Fuller's only subjects.
Then James came, irate that Charles was keeping secrets from him. I presume that he will try to break into the basement sooner or later.
Which basement?
I am prepared.
Charles was keeping a secret from Fitzroy, so Fuller assumed that Fitzroy was going to break into the basement. Not really following the thread here.
Hawkins, Fitzroy, and Fuller. What is the connection between these three?
Yeah, I'm a bit lost as well.
It's fortunate that I had the presence of mind to set the morgue in the basement. When all the fuss about the Hawkins incident finally comes to an end, I will dispose of her belongings. In the meantime, they must remain hidden in plain sight.
Of course. Sarah Hawkins is the connection.
I'm glad you understand that, because I don't. A partly burned shoe. It seems like it belonged to Sarah Hawkins. The night of the fire, perhaps. To leave a scene, I didn't even recall entering this scene. It just happened. Alright, are we in trouble?
I must go back to the basement.
Alright, we need to look at that immediately. I need to understand just what the hell I looked at. Fuller's notes. If the evidence garnered in the Hawkins drawing room raises questions as to what became of the parents' bodies, the discoveries of Colden in the office of Fuller reinforce this conviction. Sarah Hawkins was moved from the crime scene by none other than Dr. Fuller. Even more significant, the director of the Riverside Institute obviously had a strong obsession with the artist. The content of the cylinders recorded by the doctor proves his interest in the young painter. Summaries of psychoanalysis sessions as well as blood tests confirm the fact. In one of the cylinders, Fuller clearly states that he has hidden the body and the personal effects of one of his patients. The Hawkins drawing room. I'm trying to remember what we found in that room. Indeed, I'm trying to remember which room it is. The drawing room. Was that the scene of the fire? I'm not sure. The dining room was adjacent. Partially burned shoe. The partially burned shoe is showing up here. Alright, so are we in trouble?
I should go another way.
Oh god. She's not here. Good. We're heading down into the psychiatric wing. How do we go down there? Are you okay there? No, we're not on speaking terms anymore. And we never were. Alright. Where am I going? Down there. Okay. I missed that path. Or maybe I saw it earlier, but I wasn't paying attention. I just assumed that was a dead end. The high security units. Have we been on the other side of this door? I think we might have. Or was it this door? No, because there was a huge set of stairs going, yeah. We've been at the base of these stairs. That is a long way down. That is a lot of blood.
Ah, now that's the Marie that I know. I knew I could count on your scientific curiosity. It's time to show you what you were so eager to discover.
If you're gonna shoot me, at least have the decency to look me in the eyes.
Turn around. Slowly. Talk, filthy thief! Oh, I swear I'll shoot!
Those animations. We could definitely say that because look how his hand is shaking. It was Charles Hawkins.
Take a minute to look around. Everything points to Charles Hawkins.
He's dead.
No. He was here for a very specific item.
Oh, no.
The book. Why was it in the safe?
Have you read it?
Answer the question.
How foolish of you. Now you won't be able to escape his will. What did it show you?
It showed us that.
She went into Fuller's office. She was looking for Sarah Hawkins' corpse.
Sarah Hawkins, you say? Let's go back to the start, shall we? Whose life did the Necronomicon choose to show you?
Dr. Colden. She was at the Riverside Institute. She's in danger. I have to go.
Wait. No one knows the occult better than me. You might need my help.
Was that happening in the present? The way it was presented, the way she was talking, she didn't mention anything about Edward Pierce. I thought that, as well as the interaction with Bradley as at reception, I thought that was something that we witnessed from the past. But if that's actually happening in the present, then Marie has already been caught down in the basement once. She was escorted out of there, and she went back down there again.
All right. All right. I might need you after all.
Perfect. Let's meet later at the Hawkins mansion. Now go! Rescue the doctor!
Thank you, Drake.
Once again, that was a very weird conversation. The game just seems very unpolished in parts.